Alright guys, well, I left off the last video on that International 9900i sitting over there. We got the head off of it. I was gonna, the new head sitting right over here. Maybe I'll get back to going back together with it today. I don't know. I've got to push ahead on this cat here. I got to get the steering clutches. What's going on is I got to doing some research. This drum is worn out. There's a hell. I mean, look at the big step. I know you probably can't see that, but there's a hell of a step there. And an old guy called me and he told me he put a brake band on a D6 9U one time. He says in that 9U, he said he ran out of adjustment on the brand new band. And the only reason this strike pretty close to home on this deal here is because I noticed that that band there was adjusted almost all the way up and there was still meat on the bottom. So that tells me the drum's worn out. And I think old Jerry might be right. I think we'll put a brand new band on that and we'll have to adjust it almost all the way up and it still ain't gonna be right. So I called the manager and he said, let's just get it fixed. So we gotta hustle. These cats got to be ready by March. So we got to get our ass in gear. So anyhow, Trent should be in here in a little while. We did exhaust manifold gaskets on this a while ago, and it had some loose bolts and blew the manifold gaskets out. We put two manifold gaskets on it. He drove it for a couple weeks and then he said check engine light came on. Anyways, we looked at that and turbo VGT problems. So had Trent pull the turbo yesterday, and I showed him how to take the VGT turbo apart and clean it. And sure as hell, we took the actuator off the turbo, and the cone slides the vanes in and out was stuck. And it wasn't actually stuck on the turbo where the cone comes in. It'll actually come into a, like almost, I don't know if you guys ever seen a VGT turbo on a 6-liter Ford. Well, they have what they call a unison ring. Well, this is similar. It kind of has a unison ring on the other side of the hot housing that cone slides into to change the AR ratio. I think that changes the AR ratio. I'm not sure how that. Anyways, that cone comes in where the vanes come into that slotted ring. Well, where the cone comes in, it's really tight tolerances where it meets up to the other housing, and it'll stick right in there. So you got to just really scrape that carbon off of there and emery cloth that really good, and we got it all freed up. It's working great. So he's on his way in to finish up. What we got to do now is I told him don't pour the coolant in and get pretty much everything except the inner fender installed and the actuator, and then I'll basically take my scan tool and show him how to calibrate the actuator before he puts it on. So here's the VGT turbo right here, as you can see. See how it moves freely now? This was stuck before. So that'll save that guy a lot of money. Some guy left a comment on there telling me about how he pours oven cleaner in there, but I don't know. I'm a little bit scared to do that. I'm afraid to pour all that stuff in there, especially with a DPF filter, and fuck up the filter. I'm kind of a little bit nervous about that. So I think I just don't want a chemical reaction going off in the DOC or the DPF and destroying the catalyst in it. So I'm a little nervous about that. So I just pull it out, and it's easy. I don't know why people are so scared of these VGT turbos, and they just change the turbos. They're really simple, guys. All you got to do when you pull it out is lay it on the impeller side and stand it straight up and down, or lightly clamp the impeller in the vise, and then you got one clamp. Just mark your housing, and you really don't even mark it. There's a there's a little dowel. There's a dowel pin on the hot side, the housing, and there's a hole and the other side. It's only going to go on one way. The only tricky part is once you get everything cleaned up, that cone piece that slides back and forth has got those vanes on it. Well, they have to line up with those slots in that ring down below. So it's just tricky. You just kind of wiggle and shake until you get it to pop in, and I don't know. So anyways, we got to get our ass to work. Got to get the seat off of here, start pulling hoses. The cab's got to come off. Fuel tank's got to come out, and then pull the whole rear end and everything out of it. So we got a lot of work to do today. I had to show you a couple of things I got for Christmas. My boy Blake, he got this for me. Snap-on, rechargeable. It's magnetic. It's pretty heavy, but I don't think they're just looking at their magnet snap-on put on here, I don't think it's going to be stout enough for what they're trying to do here. But yeah, I won't even hold the light up. So maybe there's too much paint on this too. How about over here where there's not as much paint? Yeah, their magnet is not strong enough to hold up their light. So right there, maybe it's just too much paint. But it's a bright son of a gun. Look at that thing. Yeah, they got a little bit of a problem there with their magnet. And you can hold the button and dim it like that. So yeah, pretty cool, huh? I guess maybe just put it down there like that. I was kind of hoping I could point it straight down at something I was working on, but the magnet's not strong enough to work right. Let's start gutting this thing to get the steering clutches out of it. Yeah, she was a pretty good skating rink out there this morning. It was a really good skating rink. It was like 26 degrees when I was going home last night. And well, I gotta get a 9/16 in wrench. Got to get the stool over here, climb up and down. But anyhow, I was going home last night, and it was 26 degrees looking there on my phone, you know, and then it was raining on top of the frozen road, and I just knew when I seen that mist hitting my window and there was nothing in front of me going down the road to throw a mist of wet shit on my window. I thought, man, this is going to be a slick bastard. And cow truck, he was in front of me, and he turned off on Crossroads there on 97, and he damn near jackknifed it, and he was going slow, really slow. You know, he wasn't doing nothing wrong. It was just slick. He went around the corner there to turn off off the highway and just damn near jackknifed it. Luckily he knew what the hell he was doing, and he, instead of panicking and locking up the brakes and jackknifing, he hit the throttle and spun it back around and got control of it. So a lot of these people in these cars driving down the road, they don't understand how to use the throttle and brakes together, and they don't know how to drive, you know. You just, sorry, good grief, they just can't drive for shit. It scares you to death driving down the highway in bad weather like this. You just don't know when you're going to get run into, you know. And I'm not worried about myself. I'm worried about all the other guys that can't drive for shit, sliding into me or crossing the center line, sliding off the road and running into me, or that's what a guy gets worried about. Okay, all this shit here's got to come loose now. I was going to try to keep all these valves and everything they've added on here. What if I just undo the plate they've got on here, leave it hanging there, and then pull the battery box. That's what I want to do. Let me figure out how I'm going to do that. Well guys, as you can see, we've come a little ways. Got the cab off, or the ROPS off, and I'm trying to get everything unhooked on the actual steering clutch cover here. So there's a screw. Let me show you where the hell's it at. There's a screw right here, and then below that is a pin. And that'll make it to where you can pull that back. I think is how that works. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it's just got an eye on it, so just pull that back like that. And then that'll just be on the end of the yoke there. And that'll unhook it from your actual linkage. That way when the cover comes up, it's not hooked to the yoke. So I still got to get this other one out. So what I did on that other one is I couldn't get the steering linkage to go over far enough. So I had to pull the steering adjustment stop out, which the lock nut's just staying there where it's at, so I should be able to get it back set where it was. We can readjust it anyway and go back together. And then you gotta back off the adjustment on the yoke. Throw that in the old magnetic parts tray. And then what I want to do is start soaking this pin down, because they can be a real pain in the ass to get out. I fought the other one for a considerable amount of time. Let me soak this down in here too. Start taking. Hang on, my wife's calling. Let me sit down. Getting much done on this. That's the bad, you know. It seems like he's wanting to learn and wanting to work. So, but you know, I got to learn. You know, I got to have patience. And it's just he runs out of something to do, then I got to make him. You know, there's plenty of shit here to do. So it's just. You know, but he's inexperienced, so you got to watch him, you know, and we got a 6.7 Cummins we need to put together, and then this, oh, it's a 2014 Dodge with the Hemi. It's been sitting out there forever. That ranch that owns it, they've been on my ass. I told them to come get it. I said, take it somewhere else, you know, and this was this summer, and they said, no, we'll just wait for you, and I said, okay. So we got that that red Dodge that was in here with the 6.7 Cummins. So took that turbo apart and cleaned up it had a P2365 code, and then they tell you to run this cleaner through it and all this bullshit, and I said, let's just pull it out of there and pull the damn VGT out of it. We pulled the actuator off, and we pulled the turbo apart, and we cleaned it up, and it was fine. And when we pulled the actuator off, I showed Trent what to look for and what wasn't moving, and the little arm on the turbo that runs the, you know, the gear wasn't moving. And I said, it's stuck inside, so you gotta get it cleaned up to where it travels again, and the turbo, other than that, looked great inside. It really did. And that's the lock nut. Let me find the inch and the 16th. So what the hell did I do with that? God damn it. Just knocked that magnetic parts tray down. What the fuck did I do with that? I just had the son of a bitch. Where'd it go? So that was a 2012 Dodge 2500. It was a DJ Ram. Well, my software would not. I got into 2012 model, you know, selection in my software for the Autel, and the son of a bitch wouldn't. There was nothing in there for the turbo. Let me explain something first. So when those turbos on those Dodge pickups and them come with those 6.7 Cummins are just like an ISX Cummins. If you remove the actuator has to be timed. So what you do is you take the scan tool, and with the actuator plugged into the harness off of, but the actuator removed, so you lay the actuator up on the tire or the framer or whatever, and then you plug in to the main harness, turn the key on the cab, get into the software, and then you pre-align it, and then you line up the arm in the right spot on the turbo itself, and then you put the actuator on and bolt it on, then you calibrate it. What it does, it just sets the motor part of it in the right spot. Okay, where is my bar at? What's going on here? Why is it not moving? There it goes. I say that should move. I gotta back this off some more because I can tell my pinhole's not going to be centered. But anyway, I had to update my software, $450, and then it did it. So I got lucky and at least it did it. To be completely honest with you, it wouldn't do it. It wouldn't. It kept kicking it out. It kept kicking it out, saying something like ECU resetting. Then it would kick it off. I'm like, well, what the hell is that all about, you know? And so on these here, these can be really, really fun. Getting these pins out of here. I got a slide hammer that's got 3/8 thread on it, and the son of a gun is at home. I took it home and put it in the toolbox. I used it for something there, so it's the bad thing about being scattered out like this. Every time I need something, it's down there, or I'm in the wrong shop and where I need the tool. What I did on this other one, man, without that slide hammer, it's kind of a chicken shit way to do it. It worked. You got to get this backed off to where this will center the hole, to where the pin will come out. This is your adjustment for your steering clutch yoke here. Alright, I think it might come. I might have enough on it now. So what I had to do is I took this. There's a 3/8 bolt in there, a threaded hole. So I got a grade 8 3/8 bolt. So I took my air hammer that I'm trying to remember, Dwayne Alvin was his name. Forgive me. And I just sat there . break loose now. And I just went from side to side, just kept squirting some panther piss down in there. They just get rusted in there. Then they get a groove worn in them too, to where they won't come out. That other one had a pretty good step in it. And there it goes. We got it. There's the pin. Okay, so then this will come out like that. See how big a groove and step that is where that's been wearing on it? Alright. Pain in me arse. Down in here, they had glue down in here from years of doing this stuff, and man, I've been chipping on that and chipping on that and getting that glue out of there. Holy shit. Alright, I got to get the steering clutch linkage off and the brake linkage off, and then the rest of the bolts out, and then I think I'm ready to come up with it. Oh, I got to get the anchor off of the bottom of this band. Well, it's another day, and it was a cold one this morning. Got up, it was about 10, so had to do a little work at the house, but I finally made it down here. So I think I've got, double check and make sure I've got every bolt loose. So there should be, what, 2, 1 there, there's 3 on that side. Make sure I got them all loose over here. I think I got all those loose. Got a little tension on it. I don't see any bolts left in there. I'm sure it's going to be stuck down. Got all those there loose. There's not one hiding in the corner somewhere, is there? Let me get a bar and scratch around in there and make sure I'm going to crack something or break something. Right over here is a questionable spot. See the edge of the housing there. I don't think there's anything there. There's kind of a dirt right over here in this corner, but and I don't see anything unless there's something hiding somewhere in the dirt. I got the brake linkage loose and the steering clutch linkage loose. I got them unpinned from inside. So let's get this wedge. Well, found I had to dig this out. There's a bolt down in here, and same thing on the other side, and I didn't get those two. And I got the bolts out of this. What the hell's that all about? That's just laying down in there. It's been down in there a long time. Alright, let's see what happens now. Yeah, she's coming up now. Let me get another wedge. See if I can find another wedge of some kind. The other side is hanging me up now. It's hung up on the other side. So, no way where really to hit it, wedge it off over here. Maybe I can get underneath it. I'm gonna get underneath it, underneath the cat, see if I can hit it from the bottom and get it wedged off. The bitch is just stuck down. Doing this, not wanting to come out the front. Kind of broke loose now, at least. Pick up on it a little bit. Get the whole cat up. Freaking hose right here on my side. Tight on the fenders here. I wonder if I ought to put a porta power in there and spread it a little bit. I think I will. Alright. Yeah, it's coming out of there now. got to come out of there, I would think. Alright. What a pain in the asshole. Pain in the asshole. Woo-wee. Okay. Take the tension off the port of power. Wow, that really made things settle. This thing's really sprung bad on this one. He's had a lot of hard use, poor old girl. Alright, I'm gonna shop back some of this loose stuff off and try to clean that up as much as I can. Got quite a bit of loose material here. I gotta get vacuum as much as that off. That's all brake dust and shit. So alright, well, we're finally getting down. Let's see the big lip on this. I mean, there's a quarter inch lip on that. It's amazing it would turn at all. I talked to the guy over there at General Gear in Idaho, and he said, man, usually when they got an 1/8 inch dish on them like that, they won't even hardly grab anymore. They won't adjust up. You take an 1/8 inch right here, take that around the entire circumference of that brake drum, that's a hell of a difference. Hell of a difference. So, okay guys, so what we got to do, I'm going to pull these on out, these right here, and then make sure when you're doing these, pull these grease lines out of here, out of the top of the cover. There's a nut and a washer, or you'll tear the shit out of that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these off, and I think I could probably run my strap through there, or I could put a bar. I'll just stick a bar in there and then grab it right in the center, or I'll grab it on the ends, on the eyes with the strap with the bar through it. That's what I'll do. Alright, let me get this cleaned up as much as I can. We'll have to clean these housings out real good while we got it apart. Alright guys, so let me get this situated there. Climb back up underneath here. Stand here is the easiest way to get to them. Okay, so I already got this side done because it was the easy side. So now we're on this. See, this drum's not as bad over here as this one is. It tells me that they're using this side more or something. I don't know. Alright, so this whole thing is going to want to turn. If you had an undercarriage on her, wouldn't be that bad. So what I'm doing, get take a wrench here. Which one would I use here? Enough hoses on this old cat here to choke a mule, I'll tell you. You got plenty of fucking hoses on it. Holy shit. Fucking hoses in the way everywhere on this thing. Off of here, get these two out. One of those bolts that goes easy, about 2 turns, and about another half turn it binds up, so you can take your wrench, put your wrench back on it, one of those deals. Tell you a little story. Remember I was talking about drivers, right? Little experiment here the other day I forgot to tell you about. Oh, it's been a couple weeks ago or more than that maybe. I know it was back before we had snow and the roads were clear. So it's been a little while ago. For some reason it just popped into my mind, but so I came down here, I needed something on a Sunday, and see, I need to go this way. We need to go this way. I'll get 2 of these, and then I see what I need to do here. Maybe I'll use, let's use one of the long wrenches to jam it with. Anyway, I came down here, I needed something on a Sunday, and I had to come down to the shop from Klamath, and so I get whatever I needed. I don't even remember what it was, but I got on Highway 97 here, and there was hardly any traffic that day at all. There's usually Sundays pretty slow going on the traffic. Well, here comes this Dodge Charger. I had the cruise on something. Here he comes, just screaming up on me. California plates. And keep in mind, it's a 10-mile stretch between here and Dorse, California, and it's pretty much flat, straight road. Hold on a second, train's coming. So it's pretty much flat, straight road. Plenty of opportunities to pass, plenty of visibility. So, I'll say again, there was hardly any traffic. Oh, that was rounding off. That's not good. That is not good. That's not good, man. That is not good. That's not good. Let me think about things. Anyway, let me just finish my story, I guess. Now I gotta figure out what to do with this bolt that's partially rounded off. So I'm doing 70, plenty of room to pass, or hardly any traffic. He had miles and miles to pass me, and just a total dipshit, you know, and just riding your ass, tailgating you the whole way. But, you know, he had to do 80 to get on your ass and then tailgate you. He couldn't just go around you with the ample amount of time and plenty of places to pass. So here comes, we go about 5-6 miles, and he finally decides to pass me. But he waits to do it till there's another car, almost hits another car head on. This is the intellect of most of these people now. I mean, total fucking idiots. And so almost causes a head-on collision when he didn't have a car, one, on a straight stretch of highway on a flat road for 6 miles, 5 or 6 miles. So he gets around me and I'm thinking, what, this guy's a freaking moron. I just kept my cruise on 70. So I got into doors there, and he had got behind somebody when he got into doors, slowed him down, and I caught up to him again. So he gets up over Doors Hill and he gets back out on the flat right over the state line. Speed limit's still 65. I do the same thing. I set my cruise on 70 and I catch up to him again. And there's all these places between there and Klamath. Same story. Plenty of places to pass. Plenty of time, no traffic, and won't go. The guy in front of him, he's tailgating him again. So finally, I went around both of them. So he finally decides, after I go around both of them, he decides to pass the guy, and then tailgates my ass all the way to Klamath, another 20 miles. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna show you, you stupid bastard. And so I got right up to Joe Wright Road there, and I thought, you know, and I was on the phone with my buddy, and I was telling him what a monkey I had following me behind me. I says, well, we call them up here Flatlanders. They're usually from LA or something. And so I said, watch this. I said, this guy is such a sheepish, dumb bastard. I says, I'm just gonna not turn my turn signal on and just whip off the road here at Joe Wright Road. I says, I'll bet you $100 that son of a bitch is gonna follow me. You know what? He followed me. He whipped off the road because he seen me whip off the road there, because I kind of did it in a hurry and whipped off the road. And sure as hell, oh, you could see him overcorrect and whip off the road too. And he followed me down the road away. Then he finally figured out that he wasn't on the highway anymore, and he flipped around and went back to the highway. And I'm telling you, this is the people now we get to deal with. It's this kind of people. It's just, it's mind-numbing. It really is. That people have got this goddamn stupid. You know, and guys like me were never really that smart, but I'm telling you, these dumb bastards make us look like geniuses. They make us look like geniuses. They really do. And that's not good. Damn it. Damn it. I guess I need to go. Probably gonna take a air chisel. I'm gonna get my air chisel and see if I can whack it on the corner and get it broke loose. But I'm telling you, people, the world has lost any kind of common sense or any kind of logic or any critical thinking skills. I mean, perfect example this morning. You ought to see these people. They can't read traffic signs, you know. They cannot read a traffic sign anymore. So this bug inspection station that you come into California, the road splits, and it says there's two different signs. They pre-warn you, then they warn you again right before you get into the station, the road splits. One side goes to the automobile lane. It says cars and pickups. The other side says trucks. I don't know how many times I'll have these dumb bastards follow me into the truck lane in a little car, and then the people in the bug station say, can't you read? You know, it's just, I mean, I've made mistakes before and got on the wrong road. Trust me, I've done that. But I mean, these people now, I mean, it's mind-boggling how fucking stupid they are. It really is. It just makes you look at the condition of where we're at as a country, and you're going, man, we are really, really screwed here. We're really screwed. Bevel gear. Zoom looking good. Okay, so we're gonna pull the main cap bolts here out of it, and then she should be ready to pull out of there. Let's see, do I have a socket out that will fit that? Thought I did, but things are scattered everywhere. I don't know where I put them. Let's look back here. 7/8, if I'm looking at, or 15/60. Hang on, guys, let me find. Don't know what I did with my 15/60 socket. Not seeing it anywhere. Oh, shit's right here. Never mind. It's right here, where I left it. Parts are starting to get hard to get for on this thing, so if I can save this gasket, that's what I'll do. And as you can see, this side is wet. See this grease all over this? This is gear oil. That means the seal's leaking here. This one's leaking a little bit too. Okay, so we should be ready to lift this out. See if I can find a bar that'll fit through here. It ain't got to be much. I need to pull ahead and set her out here somewhere. Running out of room to stack shit around here. Alright, so this is the worn out. This drum's really worn out, where the rivets have got, it's even worn way down into it with the rivets. And then it's really, boy, it's got a hell of a step there. I just know I'd have put a new band on there and would have had hardly no adjustment on that. You know, General Gear in Idaho, Boise, Idaho. They've got everything for clutch drums, bands, the whole 9 yards. So we got to replace these, the seals I was telling you about here. Those need to be changed. Look at them bearings too when we get it apart. Now this brake will be pretty easy to deal with now. Yeah, this brake, somebody had replaced this one or something, but it's still, this one here is down into the rivets here on the top. It means they're just not, somebody's just not adjusting these things the way they ought to be adjusted. Alright. Press that, take those bolts out.